Welcome to Prime Time. Breaking news. There is a massive crash and 4 people were injured. Fatalities are still unknown. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims and their families. Details surrounding the crash are yet to emerge. But what we do know is that several bystanders have gathered in the area and are filming the wreckage rather than helping the victims. This incident just adds to the tally of 5 lakh crashes that cause 1.5 lakh deaths in our country every year. Stay tuned for more updates.
The WHO says that road traffic accidents claim about 13 lakh lives every year globally, of which 1 in 10 are Indian. Despite having just 1% of the world's vehicles, we account for over 11% of global deaths, making us the country with the largest number of road accident deaths. This costs us over 4 lakh crore rupees annually. Several such headlines that are printed on papers every day. Some we remember, some we forget. Today we confront the fate of these accidents, which hinges on a relentless race against time.
In low and middle-income countries, 9 out of 10 are illness couple. Beyond death, to prolong the suffering, about 20 lakh Indians are left disabled. Each day, an excruciating reminder of these merciless crashes that have robbed them of their dreams. Vulnerable road users like two-wheelers and other non-motorized transport account for more than half of all road crash deaths. These are mostly used by lower-income groups who end up bearing a disproportionately large burden of these crashes. The United Nations General Assembly launched the Decade of Action for Road Safety Program in October 2021 with the ambitious target of preventing at least 50% of all RTA deaths and injuries. Pre-hospital management is a vital factor in achieving this. Pre-hospital management refers to medical care given to patients for preventive and stabilizing purposes before and during transport to the hospital. Its 3 components are ambulance service time, bystander intervention, and arrival. Bustling streets of Hyderabad, we delve deeper into understanding the perceptions and actions of its people, the bystanders of road traffic accidents. Much like the ever-converging parts of the city, our cross-sectional observation study captured the interplay of factors affecting bystander intervention. We used a semi-structured question to find out, why do people hesitate to help accident victims? A startling 61.7% of our respondents were held back by lack of knowledge regarding first aid, like clearing area obstruction, stopping bleeding, and placing the victim in a recovery position, all of which are major life-saving interventions. A sound 43% responded that they would check for a pulse to see if the victim is breathing. Only 9.9% of participants got more than half of the questions correct. And is that any wonder when a staggering 55.4% of them have never really learned any first aid? 15% of them are apprehensive due to fear of police harassment and legal issues, and 64.6% of them were unaware of the Good Samaritan law, which protects people who help injured individuals from legal repercussions. We saw that 2/3 of the respondents had witnessed an artery, but only 26% of them had called for an ambulance. This is due to concerns about delayed response time, legal issues, and the fear of being stuck till the ambulance arrives. 5.5% of them are under the blanket of the bystander effect, which is a psychological theory stating that individuals are less likely to offer help to a victim in the presence of other people. This proves the golden hour, the brief window of time after a traumatic injury when immediate medical care is most effective in preventing death. In a world where information is at our fingertips, it's a wonder that so many are left in the dark. Welcome back to Prime Time. We are back.
Our researchers set out to find how factors like age and education affect the levels of knowledge and attitude towards managing an RTA victim. They did this using tools like Pearson's chi-square and independent samples t-tests. They found a statistically significant correlation between the level of education and first aid knowledge. The level of knowledge rises with that of education, but only till 12th grade, beyond which it surprisingly plateaus. Not even postgraduates could average more than 50% correct answers. This indicates that first aid training provided at the school level is inadequate and that there is an evident lack of adult education proper management.
The data further reveal a seesaw relationship between level of knowledge and age. This relationship was statistically significant with a peak of less than 0.05. As age rises, knowledge falls, that too by almost 30%. Because memory isn't forever, this is the vital information that needs to be refreshed. On the bright side, using t-tests, we have uncovered an optimistic outlook of people towards the effectiveness of first aid in saving a life, especially among youngsters who are also more willing to receive training. There is calm amidst the chaos, the unsung heroes of trauma care, the ambulance workers. They play a crucial role in bringing the ambulance drivers and EMTs using a semi-structured question. Our objective was to understand the factors affecting their ability to save lives. After analyzing their responses, we narrowed down the 5 P's with 21 sub-P's. Ambulance service time is the critical interval from the moment of requesting medical assistance to the beginning of hospital care. Congested traffic is the enemy of swift arrival. Restrictions on using sirens make things worse, as reported by 58% of workers. In-transit patient care refers to the stabilizing medical care provided inside an ambulance. According to 62% of workers, quality care can only combine robust training, knowledge of standard operating procedures, and frequent refresher courses. These are seen more in bigger providers like Red and 108 ambulances. We also found out that 22% of workers didn't have formal training. They just relied on experience or learning from relatives in the ambulance field. To make matters worse, these vehicles were too small for advanced equipment, and some of them did not even have a dedicated community. However, most of them showed keen interest in further formal training and certification. Much like the doctors they work with, they face threats of violence from attendants of the very patients they try to help, as seen in 58% of workers. As we strive to a safer, stronger society, it becomes evident that we must identify and overcome roadblocks to our current approach to road accidents. Here are our recommendations tailored to address the issues that we've brought to light through our research. Our novel platform for better emergency medical care, Telangana Ambulance Program. Imagine you find yourself in an emergency. You place a call to 108. That immediately connects you to the nearest ambulance using GPS. This finds female staff to your location. That also informs the traffic police officer along the route to manage any potential delays. That identifies a nearby children's hospital and sends them your location. This prevents any time wasted in hospital transitions. The ambulance reaches quickly to the exact location. That immediately connects hospitals, ambulances and police. Care in India is faster and more accessible when it is just a tap away. Our research revealed a strong willingness among the respondents to assist in an RTA if they had the knowledge to do so. To address this, we have designed an RTA toolkit, a layman's guide to saving lives. Scan the QR code to get instant access to a comprehensive first aid manual, expert RTA information, and vital helpline numbers. Our city's traffic police not only appreciated our idea, but urged us to take it forward. Join us in making a life-saving difference.
Education not only increases the knowledge of first aid but also the confidence and willingness of a bystander. We recommend mandatory first aid certification for drivers of commercial vehicles before they obtain their licenses. Workshops for adults in their workplaces and residential community. Life-saving first aid is a recurring part of school curriculums. We did workshops as a part of our project, and the overwhelmingly positive response of the students only convinced us that this learning belongs in a classroom. Infrastructural reforms. Over 50% of all RTAs happen on highways. We recommend setting up emergency medical centers at strategic points on the highways termed as lag spots. They swiftly stabilize the victim and get them to the nearest hospital as quickly as possible.
We cannot keep choosing indifference, which blinds us to this harsh reality.
A reality where since we started speaking, 3 people have lost their lives in road accidents.
We must realize that enough lives have been sacrificed at the altar of ignorance.
That if we join our hands together with education and awareness,
We can win this race against time.
very beautiful thing. One of the things like simple techniques in terms of doctors, people. What are the simple things you would suggest to people who are trained in basic life support or otherwise when an accident happens? Like, for simplest things like, if you're traveling around having a pair of gloves in your car or, having a pair of gloves and a bit of a mask in your scooter or something like that. That's sort of simple solutions which you can suggest. Two, between the moment of being shocked by being a witness in the accident to being a good Samaritan. What is the transition? What makes that shift and how can people learn from that? Like I witness an accident and then I become like from that witness or a bystander to turn into somebody who is helping. What are those simple things which human mind can do to become that helpful person? What is the Jiva observer? These are two questions.
Thank you for the question, sir. So we have found that people are saying that once they are trained in first aid, they are less likely to not help in an accident. Training in first aid increases their willingness to become a good Samaritan, sir. This is almost a magic bullet. 95% of our participants were confident that once they receive any first aid training, they would be much more willing to engage in first aid in case of a road traffic accident.
Simple 3 tips we can suggest for people like carrying a pair of gloves or a mask in your car. What are the things you can suggest?
Yes, sir. Our study also found that only a third of people carry first aid kits with them every day. And I think if everybody had first aid kits compulsorily, they would be much more likely to help in case of road traffic accidents. Education on this topic should be made common. And it's as simple as ABC, sir. And once people know how easy it is to make a tourniquet, place someone in a recovery position, it takes less than 30 seconds to learn that, lifetime to remember, and you can save so many lives.
Mind-blowing, very interesting presentation. What I need to ask from you is, in the TAP program, I feel there should be more vision in the sense, especially people like that, my friends were asking. In our licensing system, I think we should be made compulsory renewal of license along with your first aid knowledge. It will be a big thing in society happening. That will really change a lot of mindset, because when it becomes compulsory, as citizens we have a duty to learn it. Because when you make it voluntary, we tend to ignore it. So that will actually change a bit of it. Yes, sensitization, time and again. And what do you think, how much time should we spend with the community to gain this knowledge, like at the level of schools, at the level of workplace, at the level of community, and in public in general? Which kind of module do you think, you have a mindset in that doing it? What do you propose as a proposal to make it a part of community? Of first aid training. First aid training needs to be done, as you have rightly pointed out, is basically rust is rust. When you are not using that knowledge, it doesn't make any impact on you. Then you lose knowledge and you lose the sensitivity to the topic, and there where it's become very, very painful that people stop helping each other. And what about also making people know what a good Samaritan law all over the place? It's only mentioned somewhere in hospitals that we can do it. It's not very well displayed all over the place. So people tend to ignore people who are in agony, losing their lives on road. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your wonderful suggestion. It was part of one of our recommendations to make first aid certification mandatory. We will surely extend it to every citizen of India. To answer your second question, ma'am, the workshop that we did in school was a small pilot project that we did. After Symposium, since Symposium for this team is not the end, it is just the beginning, we are also interested in studying through our research the best methods to teach first aid. Currently, what we found out is first aid is one chapter in the CBSE curriculum, doesn't exist in the SSC, whereas it is taught in ICSE. What we want to study is how do we teach children first aid in a manner that it becomes a behavior. It becomes like riding a bicycle. The 4 teaching methods that we are interested in learning are firstly theoretical based, practical based, video based and peer learning methods. So this is something that we want to take forward after Symposium. This last part of your question to say that education has to be applied only then is it of any use. The Good Samaritan law came into India only in 2016 now. So as per your suggestion, it is very important for medical students like us to bring it to the attention of the attendees, of the patients and even the general public. So we plan to conduct workshops about this as well. Thank you so much for your question.
Of the services rendered. Does that help them to get motivated like that? Did you come across such situations?
Thank you for the question, sir. A program that incentivizes bystander intervention. It is a program through which any bystander that has helped an accident victim can claim a cash prize of 3,000 if they are able to prove how they saved their life within the golden hour. Thank you so much.
It's a good presentation. In fact, all the 4 presentations are very, very good. Coming to this one, before I put one question, 2 more recommendations add to the list is, person who is purchasing a vehicle should have passed first aid program. 1. And second, by receiving the license also, I think it is made mandatory to produce certificate of first aid. Those are the recommendations. Coming to the question, how to overcome the barrier in the mindset of standards about police harassment if they want to help. I really want to help, but I'm afraid of this harassment. So how to overcome this?
Thank you so much for the question, sir. So the Good Samaritan law was added as part of the Motor Vehicles Amendment Act by the Supreme Court in 2016. It is slowly and surely taking place in the minds of the citizens, sir. We hope that people are getting less scared of police harassment. Police are not allowed to harass anybody who has help. This is an old trope that we have seen in movies that somebody helps an accident victim and they get harassed. The Supreme Court has now ensured that this is not going to happen anymore. People should be made aware of this. A simple suggestion would be billboards on highways to make people know that being a good Samaritan can save a life on the highway in the streets. Thank you.
Thank you all. That is a good team effort, and as I said, you brought in solutions to the problem also very effectively, innovative solutions. Yes. Yes, thank you.